welcome to the Porsche Fever Series here on World Sim Series. It is the second round of the championship. We had some technical issues for the first one. We had small ones for this one as well. Championship standings heading into to this race. It's Alon Day at the top of the leaderboard in the Cup class, ahead of Mendeles and Bernini. Chacha leads in GT4 Pro-Am Plus, ahead of Asp and Italianos. Varga ahead of Frisch, ahead of Tuoba in GT4M. In terms of this qualifying session, it's Bernini ahead of Gavars, front two, actually the only two Cup cars we have, and then the rest are GT4s. It's Italianos ahead of Asp, in GT4 Pro-Am, ahead of Chacha in third, sixth place overall, and first in the GT4 AM sits Frisch. Vargas sits second, and actually Chacha improves to P4 and second in class. Varga in second in GT4 AM, and Duoba third in that class, as the qualifying session, I think, has ended. And I'm joined, as always, by Laurinas.
Hi, Gustas, and good evening, everyone. Good news, we were able to force our account to join this race. We had some issues joining it, but thankfully we managed to successfully do that. You see the results on your screens right now. 13 drivers in total. Only 2 Cup drivers. I've seen 5 of them in the pre-qualifying session, so maybe not all, we are not the only ones who have some issues, so maybe, hopefully, the others will be able to join the race also. And the GT4s have 2 classes in total. It's gonna be a 1 hour's race with 1 mandatory pit stop. Pit stop needs to be made between the 50th and the 45th minute. The Porsche GT4 cars are on a fixed setup. The Cup cars, though, are on a open setup, and we have Bernini fighting Gavars this afternoon, or this evening, whatever you call it. Hungaroring circuit, it definitely faces a lot of challenges for the drivers, a lot of fast corners.
A lot of slow ones as well. It's a technical piece of tarmac around here. Obviously a Formula 1 circuit as well. It's on the shorter side of circuits in general. Quick lap times. They'll approach traffic quickly, but to that traffic, so shouldn't be too much of an issue for the 2 cars in the Cup class. As the lights come on, it's round 2 of the series, and we'll get underway shortly. Gavars and Bernini front row of the grid, and everyone's away. They should bolt away from the GT4 cars, and it's Bernini closing off the inside. It's Gavars to the outside. They don't have to worry about anybody from behind, so it's a straight fight between these two as Gavars tries it around the outside. And can he get the move done? I don't think he can. It looks like there's some side-by-side action in the GT4s. Chacha trying to make the move around the outside for the lead in that class. Asp just hanging behind as he tries to stick his nose down the inside, but nothing works, and they stay as they were. Varga still leads in AM, and Kirkis has 2 AM cars in front of him as well. And a clean run through the first couple of corners as they start the rest of the lap. 4 tenths between the 2 cars in the lead, as the gap has gone up to 6 tenths now. It's more of a battle at the front of the GT4 Pro-Ams, as Italianos tries to hold Chacha behind and can't do it just yet. Well, he can do it, as Chacha can't make the move, and he's now probably more under pressure from Asp behind, but that gap ebbs and flows between these two, as I think Asp is still a little bit closer, but no opportunity for any moves to be made right now. as they're capping off the first lap of the race. 58 minutes still on the clock, and there is a mandatory pit stop as Frisch goes right in to do it. A couple of cars go in to do it. Who's the other one? I think that's Ojunas, who goes around the outside into the pits. And yep, it is Ojunas who overtook on pit entry and got that position. So those guys getting their pit stops in early. Oh, I think that was a missed pit box as well, but getting the pit stops in early, they'll get to run in clean air for the rest of this race until everybody else makes their pit stops. This battle for...
Oh, it makes me wonder why the drivers chose to do those pit stops. Maybe they had damage, but it didn't look from the pace. They were right with the field. They didn't crawl around the racetrack. And the mandatory pit stops have to be made during the 15th and 45th minutes, at least. That's what the rules say. So it's a little bit interesting what Frisch and Ojunas made the call. Why did they make the call to pit so early? But it shouldn't be a regular pit stop, and I think that means that they will still have to go into the pit lane once more.
Actually, yeah, they can't make the pit stop yet, so I thought they would do the mandatory stop and get it out the way early, but and I don't see any penalties to their name either. So both of them have made a very early pit stop, but that's not going to count towards their mandatory stop count. As the lead gap has increased, the lead gap in GT4 Pro-Am is still close. Actually, the front two on a bit of a breakaway. Asp has lost contact with them, and it's just 4/10 between the front two as they head down into turn one. It's the biggest braking zone around this circuit. It's a great overtaking opportunity. The next corner is a great overtaking opportunity as well. And then it's closer to single file throughout the rest of the track until they reach the final sector. You can still make a move into the chicane. You can make a move into this left-hander coming up, but it's a lot more difficult compared to the opportunities that you have in sector 3 and 1. So still in line. We don't really have any close gaps around the circuit. This is the closest one, although Doba catching up to Suleika, but that's not for position because it's an AM car and a Pro-Am car. Both identical cars in terms of their specification and everything. And that was a big cut in the chicane. Identical in terms of the spec of the car. It's not identical in terms of a driver level. That's the only differentiator between a Pro-Am car and an AM car. And it's a Cup class with everybody there. So it doesn't really matter what skill level you have. You're going to be in the Cup class and you're going to be fighting with the big boys anyway. This battle, well, it's not much of a battle at the moment. Looks like Hamianos has managed to put in a decent enough lap to extend his advantage just a little bit. He did 2/10 quicker, but he lost 2/10 the lap before. So let's see if that gap continues to go up and down, but pretty much everybody in the top 5 is still where they qualified, and it's not an easy track to overtake, so that might be part of the reason why. I wouldn't be surprised to see early stops come in at that 45-minute point when that window is really open. At least how it says it is open on the World Sim Series site.
Yep, the rules state the same also, so I think we should trust the rules and what they say. We will figure this out during the race. We will have an eye laid on Frisch and Ojunas. They were the two drivers that went into the pit lane. I thought maybe they have a drive-through or something, but they came to a halt, so they did some pit stop, some sort of a pit stop. And I guess if they will not stop once more, they will have to face some sort of a penalty. Bernini setting the fastest lap time, only 2 cup cars here this evening, so not much of a fight, and Bernini holding the lead comfortably, already up to almost 2 seconds, and soon he'll face a lone race, except when he'll gain on these 11 GT4 cars to overtake. At the moment we are driving with Aspen, getting ourselves familiar with the Hungaroring racetrack, which is definitely a very technical one racetrack. The track is very wide. You kind of have a couple of possibilities for the different lines to take around the corners, and to make an overtake is also a challenge here. So currently we don't see any battles on the racetrack. Frisch and Ojunas made a move on Jodeka after they went back on to the track after that mysterious pit stop that 2 drivers took. Frisch is currently 4 seconds behind Buoncore, and he's an M driver, so that's gonna be a battle for position in M class. Ojunas, a Pro M Plus driver, he's now down to the very last position in the class. We have 6 Pro M Plus drivers. We have 5 GT4 M drivers. So some small battles on the racetrack for the one upcoming hour, with 1 mandatory pit stop, so everyone knows there's still some wide on the exit. There's still some strategy here involved into this race. We didn't see how the first one went, so we are slightly unfamiliar of what the drivers are choosing, whether we have some drivers that are trying to go on one set of tires and just add 1 liter of fuel. The tire wear is set to 200%, so I think you have to be very cautious with your inputs if you want to finish the race with 1 set of tires. Of course, after that you enjoy the short pit stop and save a lot of time on the track, but if your pace is very low, you have no chance. We've seen that in previous seasons, we've seen that in previous championships. Sometimes one strategy works better, sometimes the other, and we'll have to figure out which strategy works in this race or in this championship. 5 rounds in total. All of them count towards the standings in the battle for the champion crown. I think all of them count.
I think they could be. Yep, all rounds do count towards the championship. That's good points for everyone running today.
Oh, and this...
especially the cup class.
Oh yeah. Bernini and Gavars, they will enjoy a healthy lead if more drivers will return to the championship. I wonder how many drivers we had in the first round, but I think there was definitely more cup drivers. Oh yes, indeed. We had 7 drivers in the cup class. We had 8 drivers in the GT4 Pro M Plus class. What a long name for a class. And we had 4 drivers in the GT4 M class. So 1 driver joined the GT4 M class this afternoon, though the other classes have seen reduced number of participants in this race. I wonder why Italiano started to struggle a bit. His pace definitely went down slightly.
Well, his lap times haven't actually changed much. It's more about Chacha fine. Oh no, they have because Chacha's found pace. Has Talianos found pace? Well, I think Talianos has kind of stayed similar, or at least lost a bit from the first few laps of the race. Maybe tires overheating could play a part here. It's a tire, could be a tire-heavy circuit depending on how the weather is on track and how the setup is as well. It's a lot of medium to low speed corners. If you're really pushing the car, you can get quite a bit of scrub as Gavars. Are they going through traffic?
Yep, they are. That's your Deka.
How are they going through traffic? That's very early. I guess Deka had some issues because the next car is still quite a long way away. And the next car is actually one of the ones that have hit it. So, yeah, something went wrong for the car in last position overall, last position in the GT4 AMS as well. As here's Frisch in P11, catching up to Buoncore up in front of him. Buoncore, maybe.
Yep, both drivers in the M class, and this is already a battle for P3 in the M category. That's what you get when you don't have a lot of drivers. You make a pit stop, you don't lose a lot. Jodeka has been overtaken a long time ago already, and Jodeka going really slow. He's 40 seconds behind Ojunas, so maybe he had some incident. And Frisch going for an overtake. Nope, that was timetable enjoying and having a small party. As Frisch, 3/10 behind, going for a move.
Well, he didn't make the corner, but Buoncore didn't make it even more. He was right on the outside there, so completely missed turn 1, and he'll lose that position. To be expected, it's a big pace difference as... what's happening here? Okay, back to normal. Yep, so it's a big pace difference that Buoncore has to any of the cars ahead. So for these two guys coming back up the field after their strangely early pit stops and pit stops that don't really coincide with how the rules are written. Because they both stopped. It's not like a drive-through penalty as well. They both came to a stop. Big cut there from Ojunas behind.
Was that Ojunas? I think that Buoncore who...
Oh, I thought both of them track. I was gonna say Chacha moved up, but he didn't. He's still behind. Could have been, and I don't think track limits are monitored too much. So pit lane's open now. That's for sure, because that's what has come up on the timing screen. Well, on my screen at least, so I can see that the pit lane's open. So these two have thought of a decent strategy, didn't think when the pit window opens, probably ran with what the old rules allowed, as this is Chacha to the inside now of the right-hander. He'll be on the outside. Nope, he'll still be behind, but he tried to make a move, and this is the first real attempt after lap 1 that these two are fighting for a position. Asp is 4 seconds down from these guys, so it's a big gap. Obviously, still could be a difference in strategy, but if they keep going at this pace, they'll just run away with this one, even if they do change tires. Through Sector 2 they go. It's that chicane and then a few quick left-right corners. Then it's a fast left-hander and into a fast right-hander as well. Got to keep the speed up in higher downforce cars. A lot of aero wash through that section. Chacha trying to show his nose. Talianos not biting He'll stay in front, at least for now, but he's definitely feeling the pressure. It's not as easy as it was for him before. As, yep, still behind. I thought he might be coming into the pits, but still thinks he can try and make that move. Have to look at where he'd rejoin. With so few cars, it actually makes sense to pit early if you know you can get into some clean air and you can get a few clean laps in. And with the pace that Chacha is showing right now, he's looking very good. To even if he would pit early, try and undercut and jump the car ahead. Obviously, Talianos would react to that, but as the car in front, he doesn't have much of a choice. Once Chacha commits to pit, Talianos can't really do anything. He'll have to wait at least one more lap. And with the pace that's being shown here, that might just be enough to be a switch for position, and you can see how hard it is to overtake anyway. So it's not like he could take him back that easily. Onto the brakes, into the chicane they go through it. But almost running into the grass there on the exit. Trying not to cut the chicane. As Chacha's line definitely look much cleaner, wide from Talianos and sideways as well on the exit. He's not as precise at the moment. He's definitely feeling that pressure from behind. He'll go defensive as, well, it's still early in the race to start doing that. If he thinks he can hold on for the next 40 minutes, I think that's an optimistic way of looking at it. Chacha to the inside, but can't get the move done. Stays behind even after that little bit of contact. Saw an opportunity, but looks like it wasn't open enough. Leaders coming through traffic, at least a couple of cars of traffic. There's not that much. The most traffic they'll encounter is positions 5, 4, and 3 overall. As here comes Bernini. He dispatches, I think that is Frisch, running in P10. And Bernini's got a good gap as well. 3 seconds, just a little bit over. Still, this battle continues on and still no way through. Stays behind for now, does Chacha with Talianos in front. He's doing a good job to hold on. The question is, how long will he be able to do that? Maybe he'll run a little bit slower like he's doing now. He might just be able to cool his tires back down if that's his issue. And try to go on another push, especially when the pit stops come in. Pit window is open. As a reminder, 25 minutes still to go on that one. It opened with 45 to go, and it will close with 15 to go. So they've got half an hour to make their pit stop.
Yeah, so plenty of time to enjoy this on-track battle. I think Chachos is not going into the pits because he's basically enjoying this on-track battle. He's quite close. He feels that he has a slight edge on Talianos. Maybe he just doesn't want a pit to stay on the racetrack and have some fun. Also, if he'd pit now, maybe he wouldn't run into a huge traffic, but there is a chance still for him to fall into a couple of cars. Hideka, by the way, already one lap down. These GT4 cars have overtaken him, so Hideka facing some issues here. And it's basically a lone race for car number 13, which is running in P13 here in this race. As Chacha still right on the tail of Talianos. No real moves, but lots of beautiful attempts.
It's hard to find a way through when you've not got enough of a straight to slipstream through. Yeah, it becomes a difficult task to make an overtake here. they keep trying, but probably the best opportunity is the pit stop. If you go in early or late, that might be your chance to move up the field, especially if you're close enough to actually try and do something. Right now, if Rowan can catch up just that little bit more, he's got the opportunity to do something. And clearly, even if you've got pace, it's not that easy to make a move. So if you can get in front, you might just be able to hold on for much of this race. I thought that was Chacha going into the pits. It isn't. He still stays behind. Could also be that they are running the strategy with a tire change. But then still, you have to look at doing the opposite of the car ahead. If you're the car behind, have to try something. Because clearly just staying behind is not gonna work. On the brakes, but nothing changes. Actually, well, Chacha's gotten closer, much closer. He's confident on the brakes down into turn 1. That might be his best or his only opportunity as he finds a way to stick it down the inside. He's going to be on the outside here, but if he can just hold on, he'll be on the inside for the left-hander, and that's definitely the preferred line. Can he get that move done? And he'll get crossed back on the exit. But this is now definitely in favor of the inside line, and Chacha looks like he's got the position. Finally, he's gotten through, and that was the opportunity. Down at turn 1. It took a couple of corners to materialize, but position change completed, and now Talianos is the car chasing. He has to think of what to do.
Yeah, you know what he would do if he would have radio communication with his team? He would say, Chacha overtook me off track, and he has to give me the position back because Chacha was.
The problem is they're both going off track at every opportunity. So
yeah, on this particular corner, yeah, they both are going off the racetrack. But in the situation where Chacha overtook Talianos, Talianos was definitely within the track limits. Chacha went twice off the racetrack, so I think Chacha is facing some sort of a penalty. I know that race control is closely monitoring the track limits here this afternoon, and what I saw, I would definitely go for track limits for Chacha. So that would convert into a time penalty. So what Chacha needs to do now is to try and make a big gap as possible. Maybe a gap of 10 seconds, as Varga is the first car to go into the pit lane with the regular pit time. 35 minutes on the clock, 20 minutes for the pit stops to happen. Berlin still leads Gavars, though the lead is up to 7 seconds. And
again, it all depends on the strategy as well for that front two. Chacha almost goes off the road. It still depends on the strategy for the front two. In the Cup class, same for the Pro-Am class. I'm gonna guess the Pro-Am class, the front two are on the same or at least a very similar strategy. The front two in the Cup class, the gap has really increased a lot, so we'll see if that strategy is identical. And still 19 minutes for them to decide to come into the pits. Those who are changing tires, I'd say it's about 10 minutes, because you'll want to split the race as much down the middle as you can. If you try to run much longer, you're kind of wasting race time here. But Chacha's been doing a great job here. He's managed to really pull a gap on Talianos, so he doesn't really have to worry about the car behind pitting and trying to undercut him. He can just run his own strategy. Obviously still reacting to what the car behind does, but it's not as critical as it was before. Race leader is starting to come up on this group of cars. He's catching up to the car in P5, which is Asp, who's running a very lonely race. He's not been able to catch up in front, and he's got a huge gap behind as well. Here's the difference between the front two, and Gavar's big loss on lap 14. He's been losing a lot anyway, but lap 14, the big one, 2.2 seconds lost as the race leader starts coming through traffic. Could be traffic as well for Gavars, but it's still a big time loss to have. As they come through the left-hander, Bernini dispatches some traffic, and he'll have 2 more cars to negotiate before he's got about half the track of free air in front of him.
I wonder why Gavaras became so slow. Maybe he's thinking about a different strategy. He saw that there's no chance for him to overtake Bernini on the racetrack and he tries to push. Now he kind of dropping back, which makes me think maybe he started to save the tires and have a go at a shorter pit stop if he has enough of fuel in the car, which I don't think he does if his initial strategy was slow down for Bernini, was it? Did he slow down while running wide? Maybe it looked like that, but look at the gap, it's just becoming huge now already, up to 9.5 seconds, so I'm not sure what's happening with Gavars here on the track. Oh, that is Gavars actually that we are looking at. Ooh, so few cars and I still get confused. Gavars, I think he went wide and he definitely slowed down.
Pit lane for Talianos as he was slow to come into his box. And looks like a tire change. So he'll be doing a tire change. Chacha's gonna definitely move to go into the pits probably next time by, unless he's on a completely different strategy. As to the inside moves the overall race leader and laps the GT4 field for the whole GT4 field for the first time in this race. About half an hour in, so he'll probably do it again on the final lap as well, if they continue on this pace. Behind Talianos, who's rejoined out the pits. He's got 1.3 seconds in front of him, but he's got a car there. That's the problem. He'll want to get past it. Good news, though, for Chacha. If he pits now, he should rejoin in front, and he'll have a car as a buffer between himself and Talianos. So Talianos may be a lap earlier, so considering the pace difference they had. Chacha stays out. 1 more lap for him at least, and he'll definitely be clear of that Pro-Am car. So good job. Gavars into the pits, and that normally indicates a tire change.
Hey,
Question is if he comes out in front of the traffic Asp pits as he misses his pit box and has to go backwards. Actually, for Gavars, it would have probably made sense to stick around on track just for a little bit longer. Maybe could have come out in front of the traffic, but it should only be 1 car, so not too big of an issue. Down into the pit is yep, and that car out of the way for Talianos. So definitely it's time for Chacha to try and make a move, as out of the pits comes Gavars. He's behind Talianos, and he'll lap him very quickly, I'm sure of it, as the race leader leader. He'll have to make a decision soon as well, but if Gavaras changed tires, that doesn't look good for him. I don't think he'll have much of an opportunity to move forward.
Yeah, and he was way behind. I wonder why did he lose so much time before he took that pit stop, but he was definitely going very slow for the whole duration of the beginning of the race. Gavaras was right there on the end of Bernini, and well, before the pit stops the gap was about 14 or 15 seconds, so something is definitely not okay with Gavaras, as Frisch is now right behind Duoba. Duoba did not make that pit stop. Frisch, I believe, is the one who is trying to chase down for position. By the way, there are a lot of penalties for track limits. Duoba is one of the cars that is constantly receiving 2-second penalties, and I cannot count actually how many seconds he has, but that's gonna be a huge penalty. So Frisch is still looking at a... Oh, and Asp couldn't brake in time, and there was a contact with Frisch, so he sent Frisch wide, Duoba into the pits. Asp let Frisch through and now tries to overtake him on the racetrack, as Frisch loses the back end of the car on the exit of the corner. And I wonder if Frisch and Ojunas will go into the pit lane. Maybe Ojunas went there for the second time because he's already far behind of Frisch. They both came out of the pits at a very similar time after lap 1 pit stops. So maybe Ojunas was already in the pit lane. 11.5 minutes for the pit stops to happen. Oh, and Chacha also went into the pit lane. He's now 7 seconds ahead of Talianos. Kirkis left on the racetrack. And it looks like the cars are running out of tires because the GT4s are sliding all around the circuit. I think most battles on the racetrack are done. Bernini has also been into the pits. Gap is back down to 12 seconds.
So that's a bit of an issue, definitely, for Gavaras. I really thought he would move forward because of a different strategy, but clearly this has not gone his way. Kirkis down into lane. Has Frisch and Varga taken the pit stop?
Well, Frisch is the car that took the pit stop on the first lap.
Oh no, not Varga, so it would be Ojunas. Well, that's our answer because he's going into the pits now. So has to take a second pit stop. I think that was a mistake at the start of the race.
Yeah, and I think Ojunas was already into the pits for the second time. It's a shame that our system is still incapable to catch the pits, though Ojunas has the 2 pit stops to his account, so we can maybe be sure that Ojunas made those 2 pit stops, and he's now gonna be back close to Frisch, similar to how they were after lap 1. The gap should be about 10 seconds, maybe it's true. Yes, Chacha is already 1 lap behind, so the Cup cars have overtaken the whole tiny grid at least once. And Bernini is right on the tail of Jodeka. That's gonna be lap 2. For an overtake of a GT4 class. Well, 24 minutes on the clock, and action on the racetrack becomes very minor. Oh, the wide lines. Ojunas runs so wide, so Shileika has overtaken him. Maybe Ojunas left off He went slightly off throttle, and this is Pro-Am Plus battle for the very last spots.
Luca has quite a bit of damage on his machine, so it's a little impressive that he's continuing on his run. Not having too many issues, still managing to gain position somehow. As this is definitely the closest battle out on track. We have another one between Varga and Kyrgios, but that's 2.6 seconds. It's a big gap, but that's not going to be easy to catch up. And that's also not a battle for position. So this is for P1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the Pro-Am. Actually, 5 and 6. So who finishes last and who finishes 5th in this class. But Seleka doing a good job and running away from Ojunas behind. The unfortunate thing for him is that if he wants to catch anybody else for position, he'd have to find it over 20 seconds somewhere.
I don't think that's possible, and there are 3 GT4 AM cars in between. So, yeah, that's about...
He'd have to find the time and then overtake them, so it doesn't look likely to me.
I wonder what happened to Gavars. He's now pushing again, so maybe the setup of the car is abusing the tires a lot. I love how in this first corner you always see the helmet of the driver looking left instead of looking right where the corner points. So just looking around, running solo on the racetrack, having interest of what's happening behind the track and behind the barriers. Still trying to chase down Bernini. But both of them are on a very similar pace, and I don't see any chance for Gavars to gain Bernini here on this racetrack in that battle for the win, and that's gonna leave basically Bernini and Gavars battle for the lead in this championship. They are currently 3rd and 4th in the standings, so we don't have a Day and Mendel is here. So they don't have competition. They will climb up the ladder quite nicely in the standings.
Yep, and good news for them is that all rounds count into the championship, so this is going to be a big gain.
Gavars running wide, losing a little bit of time, so maybe he's abusing the tires a lot, and that's why he's dropping behind Bernini.
Could be the case, but anyway, the gap is too big, so it's really just getting to the end. And because you don't have much traffic, I don't think there's much risk of not getting to the end. So you can try out different lines, try to find the speed somehow. I mean, would be good for future events. Maybe it's something to do with how you use the tire, how you use the car, where you push and where you don't. That might be the difference maker. So good opportunity to have a test session in a race. Pit window's still open, but I think everybody has made their stop, and I think everybody changed tires, so clearly tire wear has been an issue, at least a big enough issue to warrant a tire change. And well, I guess because Tanianos and Chacha changed tires, it's also not great for Asp, who was looking at, and I thought maybe he might be running on a different strategy, but he's not caught up, so he changed tires as well. So a different strategy wasn't an option either. As Varga's catching up to Kirkis. That's the leader in the GT4 AM class, catching up to a Pro-Am car, so it's not for position.
Yep, maybe they are on a slightly different strategy. Maybe Kirk is saving the tires already. He's currently 4th in the class, and he might be in the way of Varga, though Varga has 20 seconds advantage against Duoba. But Duoba has a lot of time penalties for not staying within the boundaries of the racetrack.
All right, there's track limit penalties as well, so those will be added on post-race, and I guess the drivers will only find out post-race, and obviously any extra penalties will be added on there as well. I don't think there's much of a chance of any on-track penalties, because we haven't seen that many incidents.
Yeah, so I have a couple of news. So Buoncore, car number 12, and Duoba, car number 11, both have, well, now Duoba has 38 seconds penalty, and Buoncore has 36 seconds penalty for abusing the track limits. As Varga goes wide, and car number 6, that's Shileka. The driver has 4 seconds penalty so far for track limits, and these are only the 3 cars that have received some penalties for abusing the track limits.
It's quite a lot of penalties for track limits. We've gotten 36 seconds. Is that just a drive-through converted?
No, this is the cuts are being calculated. The cuts are being calculated.
Yeah,
so
but I mean, he got a drive-through and it's converted to time. Like he got a drive-through for track limits.
No. This
or
is
each cut gives him.
Yep, each cut gives you a couple of seconds. Sometimes 1 second, sometimes 2 seconds. So these two drivers are leading in not staying on the boundaries of the track. The track limits, and yep, they are having a bad time. This track, yeah, you see, this is again the next 2 second penalty. He's just going straight through the chicane, which the real penalty is not counting, but the race control, the race steward, is definitely doing the job and looking and keeping an eye on how the drivers behave, and basically every lap or every corner where you cut the track gives you a couple seconds penalty, and the penalties just keep growing and growing. And I think these two drivers are maybe not familiar with what the rules stated, and there was definitely a briefing message before the race to stay within the boundaries. The race penalty app is not catching the track limits, but the track limits still apply. And that's how you get yourself these huge penalties, which, well, yeah, basically put the cars down the order. Bernini is setting the fastest lap time with 15 minutes to go, so he's enjoying his own race. Basically,
well, the penalties won't change that much. Well, Waba will lose a position. And then Buoncore was the next one, right? So
yep.
He's not losing anything because the car behind him is over a lap down, so he can get a year of penalties, but that won't change anything because the car behind's still a lap behind. So really it's... oh, they're still Frisch. Right, they're still Frisch, so it is a... Oh, nope. So, yep, it is just a 1 position switch for Duoba and a 0 position switch for Buoncore. And even if Buoncore wouldn't didn't get those penalties, well, maybe that might actually be close-ish for a change of positions, but doesn't look like it. So it will only be Frisch going up, and he'd move up into that final podium position in the GT4 AM class, led by Varga, who's trying to catch up to Kirkis in front. Take Kirkis in front. Be close. Here comes Varga, the outside. And it should be relatively easy. Oh, that's a late move to the inside.
Oh,
Yep, he wanted to be confident at the turn one, was overconfident, completely missed the braking point, and stays behind. Doesn't need to take these risky moves. It's a car that's not battling he's not battling for position. If he takes him out, obviously Dorba has enough of a penalty that he's not in play here, but Frisch is, and that might still change something.
Oh, Frisch overtook Schleika, so I think Schleika made a mistake somewhere on the racetrack because he's now trying to get that place back. Again, not for position in class, just for position in the overall standings, which basically changed nothing here points-wise. And Schleika has a very damaged car. He's still very racy though, as Gavaras gains on these cars. Frisch running wide again.
Yep, and there was definitely no contact, so it's just him running wide. Now Schleika runs wide as he has Gavars coming through. Flash of the lights, I'm sure. Says hello, I'm here, and gets through. Does Gavars. So really, this is Frisch is sliding around so much. What's happening with that car? As Schleika comes through, a little bit of contact, but Frisch, I think he'll slide off the road himself. It's more about Schleika avoiding. Oh no! Oh no! Well,
not a lot of cars on the racetrack. The drivers still are able to meet each other and greet each other. They are not fighting for position in class, and they still want these fierce battles happening. Frisch has some sort of problems with the tires, I believe. His driving style is so interesting. Maybe he's just enjoying the racetrack. He's just enjoying how the GT4 Porsche car is handling on the track. But when you have your rivals side by side, you would definitely want very small or non-existing slides. As Varga is back on the tail of Kirkis. Another battle for zero position. Both cars will stay where they are in the standings if they swap places, but they still try to enjoy these battles on the racetrack. Hopefully they will manage to make it a little bit cleaner this time. Varga managed to outbrake himself hugely into turn one on his previous attempt. He's now back on the tail of Kirkis again.
Yep, this one continues on, but Varga knows he doesn't need to do anything here. He can just stay behind.
Varga has some connection issues, I believe. His car is turning interestingly around the corner. So Kirkis runs wide again into the last corner, loses the traction on the exit. That's going to be a nice chance for Varga. Has to go into the slipstream, and will he get the inside of the corner? Nope, this time he chooses the outside line. He will try to not outbrake himself, and oh, he tried to not outbrake himself, but no, that's Bernini actually. That's Gavars. No, that's Bernini. Yep, that's Bernini. Who managed to overtake these two battling drivers. Varga again, mistake into turn one. He's struggling to find the brake mark into turn one when he's battling Kirkis, and that's not the way to overtake your rival. Again, late on the brakes, trying to get that late apex. These long sweeping corners of Hungaroring doesn't help the drivers. to have an easy race. Always have to be precise and trail brake deep into the corners. Marga doing a slightly better job by the looks of it. At most of the corners, still misses most of the apexes. Or maybe that's the connection issues, because sometimes I think the car goes slightly sideways around the corner, and that's what the connection issues create. When looking from the outside cameras. Eight minutes on the clock, job basically done for every driver. No real battles on the racetrack. So just enjoying the rubbery and slippery racetrack at Hungary, the famous Hungaroring circuit, which is definitely one of the more technical ones. Finally, Marga manages to complete that first corner without outbraking himself deep into it. Gavars will be the next car who will gain on these drivers and try to make a clean pass just to try and reach the finish line in P2 in the Cup class and the overall standings. And I wonder what's next on the calendar in this series. Oh, Slovakia, so plenty of technical racetracks on the calendar. We started off with Spa. We are now at the Hungaroring. We will move to Slovakia Ring. 5 rounds in total in this championship.
Yep, only 5 rounds. It's one less than we had previously in previous championships, but we've got less rounds in this one. Obviously getting closer to summer and the Dream to Drive Championship starting up as well. There's still time for you to join that and win a seat in a Porsche GT3 Cup car this year. So ending in 12 days is the qualifying period. The Avoco side, which is drivers on their personal simulators or from any sim centers as well. That's running, and the Topocentras qualifier, that's for drivers who do their qualifying laps at the Topocentras stores around Lithuania. So 2 ways to qualify for that one. By the end of it, the best drivers will go into a grand final to decide who gets a seat with the Dream to Drive team, and the qualifier in a Porsche Cup car around Spa. You can still participate in that one. The first round of this championship was at Spa, and you had the Porsche Cup cars there, so I'm sure a few of the drivers used that as a good opportunity to practice. As Simeka gets past the Duoba, and this is for 8th, but again, that doesn't really matter because these are different categories. Under 5 minutes to go, and well, really, there's no battle for position, especially considering the penalty that the Duoba has hanging over him.
Well, it's already 49 seconds of a time penalty, so closing to 1 minute with 4 minutes 30 on the clock. Look, there's another 2 seconds for Doba. It was 49 seconds, it's now 51 seconds.
I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, right? So you can,
well, he'll lose that one position. He'll lose the position to Frisch.
Well, he'll lose the position anyway. I mean, he's got what is he? Well, so he was like at 30 with 20 minutes to go, so he can still keep. I mean, I think he doesn't know that he's getting these penalties. even if he would find out now, I don't think he'd really change anything because the penalty is so big that you can just keep on cutting.
Yeah.
Maybe you can cut enough to get the fastest lap of the race. That would be something, at least.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, something.
a good point. Cutting the racetrack, gaining advantage, and yeah, still not being able to
Because
set
the
the fastest
penalty is
lap times.
given out by a steward, so he could try and pick that chicane flat if there's not too big a. I mean, if the real penalty system can't give him a penalty, maybe he can just take it flat. That might be enough for fastest lap of the race.
I don't think so. He should find 3 seconds, because his fastest lap time is basically 3 seconds slower than the fastest lap time of Chacha. So
you think if you kept flat for the chicane, you wouldn't gain that much?
Maybe there are track limits, but not. Maybe they are cutting as much as the real-time penalty allows them. And not seeing the track limits correctly. Maybe it's a little bit deeper into the corner, so maybe they don't have a chance to take it flat out. But yeah, this is all just fun and speculation. I'm pretty sure Doba is not aware that he is being watched and penalties are being applied. And only 2 cars doing this journey, basically. Car number 6 has 4 seconds, but that was definitely not on purpose. Just a couple of cuts, and they are not receiving it anymore. But cars 12 and 11, they keep adding and adding and adding the cuts. It's 53 seconds already for Doba, 52 seconds for Buoncore.
We actually don't know where, well, maybe it's updating every lap. Maybe the stewards are updating it every lap. Because we don't know, maybe they're still behind. So it could be that the penalty is actually bigger.
Yep, it can. It can be that the penalties are bigger. Yes, we ride on board with the race leader.
Clean run through the chicane. Race leader doesn't need to take any risk. Flash of the lights. Goes down the inside, gets the move done, and he'll start the final lap of the race. Next time he crosses the start-finish line. It's been a lonely race for Bernini up in front. And, well, World Sim Series often gives us good action, especially like we saw with the EBA-TCC Championship. And sometimes a more calm race is, I guess, needed for the drivers especially. Yep, my prediction was right. Bernini will catch up to Chacha at the end of this lap. If Chacha can actually keep him behind, though, then even if he gets a penalty for something, if he did something throughout the race, he'd still be able to stay in front. So, but I don't think that's really in his hands. It's more about how quickly Bernini runs this lap. Trying to see if maybe the positioning of the leader could impact any other positions, but I don't think so. Unless, well, where's Frisch? No, he's too far away. I think a couple more laps, it may have even turned into a situation where Frisch would have been a lap down, depending on where the leader finished, and could have actually been still stuck behind Doba, even with his eternity of penalties that he's going to receive. So leaders on the final lap, that's confirmed because the time has run out for this second round of the Porsche Fever Championship. And Bernini, he's put in a dominant performance. He's now staying off the curbs, doesn't want anything to do with any sort of track limit penalties, doesn't want anything to do with any kind of penalties, and he's already giving us a bit of a weave down this straight. He's waving in his hand already as well.
Oh, Chacha will make it. I think
yep,
Chacha
he'll make it, so he'll have that very, very good buffer, and he'll win the GT4 race essentially before he crosses the start-finish line for the checkered flag, because he'll... Does he wait? No, he doesn't, because Bernini takes the win. Chacha will have one more lap to do. And so Bernini, winner ahead of Gavars, who's going to come through right now. Talianos finishes second. Asp will be third in the GT4 Pro AMs, and the GT4 AMs should be won by Varga, who's still trying to get past Kirkis somehow. It's still not working for him, as drivers start disconnecting and the timing screen goes a little bit crazy. We'll get back to the results once everybody takes the checkered flag. Big defense into the final corner, but Varga just doesn't need to get into an incident. He'll still win the AM class, and he'll be the next race winner to cross the line. And he does. Winner in AM class, Varga from pole position, I think, in that class as well, was it? No, actually, Frisch was in pole position on that in that class, but obviously Frisch had his own troubles throughout the race with that early pit stop as well. And Rowan Chacha, he's driven a great race. He was stuck behind Talianos for a very, very long time, and finally managed to get through. Once he did get through, he said, "See you later, buddy," because he went and built up a massive gap. I mean, he's got a gap of a lap now, but he had about 10 seconds as he crossed the line. So he bolted away, and as soon as he got past, he put about a second and a half, and after the pit stop, he just kept increasing and increasing the gap. So great run for him. Again, starting from second in his class, just like in the GT4 AM. So the only class that did have the poleman take the win was the Cup class. So Rowan Chacha will take the win in GT4 Pro Am, and he'll be... Will he be the final car to cross the line? He is, because whoever crossed it with him was in front. So, race results, we have them for you right here. Bernini and Gavars, the only two cars in the Cup class, and they're 1 and 2. Bernini takes the win in that one. Rowan Chacha takes the win in GT4 Pro-Am Plus ahead of Nianos Asp. Kirkis Shileka, who's finished 8th overall in 15 class, and Ojunas 11th overall, 6th in class. GT4M, that goes to Varga ahead of, it will be Frisch. Then would be Duaba, Boncore, and Yodeka down in last position. Still, obviously, results pending approval by the stewards. But that's going to be it from us tonight. Next round coming up in 2 weeks' time from the Slovakia ring, and you can sign up yourself by going over to worldsimseries.com and signing up there. But from us, it's good night.